Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Yeah, right on time. Always on time.
We're in sync, baby.
Yeah. Like beings connected through the multiverse.
Yeah. It is. That's just exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
We're the one. Us.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Jet Li's The One.
Jet Li's Sion.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
My God.
The people have found you guilty of 123 counts of first-degree murder and 123 counts of unauthorized travel to parallel universes.
There's never been anything like what I have become.
For these crimes, you have been sentenced to life without the possibility of return. Are you ready?
Are you?
That's my first, I scrambled, as soon as the movie ended, I scrambled to my notepad.
Yeah.
To write down some thoughts before they drained from my memory like a dream.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like the feverish dream that is this film.
Yes.
I realized I've seen this movie before, and I didn't remember a thing about it.
No, I worked at a movie theater when this came out. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to our patron, Lef.
Yeah.
Who said to us, who was brave enough to say, I want you to watch The One and do a podcast about it.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now.
Yes, so thank you very much, Lef.
Yeah, thank you, Lef.
I got to rent this on Amazon.
Yeah, me too.
And sit for 85 minutes and just be dazzled.
Yeah.
By everything 2002 had to offer. Or 2001, actually.
This was released a month after 9/11. So that checks out. It's still a very pre 9/11 movie. Yes. It made me realize that early 2000s has a distinct flavor the way 80s action does.
Yes.
This is one of the most early 2000s movies. The techno fighting music, the blue-gray color palette, the cartoonish costumes, the Spy Kids CGI.
Yeah, the real shitty CGI.
Yeah. And then, of course, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack, that was one of the first things I wrote down, is that Jet Li's The One really bet big on nu metal.
Yes.
This music is going to last forever.
It's so perfect.
Let the bodies hit the floor. When the first action, sickness.
Yeah, when the first action showed up or happened, and that's Let the Bodies Hit the Floor started playing, I was just like, oh, we are in the early 2000s.
Yeah, we are.
And then later, the fucking Down with the Sickness starts playing, and it was like, oh my God.
And then it ends with the Papa Roach song.
Yeah. And then there's the part where Jet Li's listening to nu metal in the... in the car, which
he dances like a crazy person.
He does
in this movie. He's just sort of swaying randomly, not in rhythm. He's just kind of swaying like he's in a rocky ship.
He dances like someone who can't dance, being told you need to dance for this scene, but also dance evil because you're evil. This is the evil dance. It is that. It was funny because I had the captions on, and when the nu metal plays, the caption says heavy metal plays, and I'm like, oh no, captions, that's not what this is.
That is not. That's not what this is.
You're wrong, captions. Oh my fucking
I have
God.
to wonder, this straight up front, and this is a question I'm posing to you and to Lef, our Patreon producer of this episode. I have to wonder if they picked this movie. There's a lot of reasons to pick this movie, but did you happen to notice who wrote and directed it?
Oh yeah, it was
It's James Wong. And
yeah.
it was written by Glenn Morgan.
Really?
And Darren Morgan is in it.
Oh my, wait, where's Darren Morgan in this?
Darren Morgan is the coroner that says the real gross dated transphobic joke.
Yeah, that scene, I was like, I basically thought like this needs to. I bet that was a person, because that is the most out of place scene. Is it's two coroners, one of them makes a transphobic joke, the other opens the body bag and Jet Li's alive inside and he goes whoa, and like faints like a cartoon character. And it was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
There's a few scenes that are just low key.
So yeah,
absolutely bonkers.
It was this movie was made by part of the major creative force behind the X-Files.
Yes, and of course, fucking Final Destination.
Yeah. I wonder if this was an X-Files episode.
Like Final Destination. I mean, honestly, it could have been a multiverse episode where someone's trying to gain strength by killing all the people in the multiverse.
That sounds like some kind of dumb bullshit Mulder would believe in.
It does. It absolutely. It wouldn't be Jet Li doing it through martial arts. Boy. So that's the plot of the movie, in case people were wondering.
Yeah, it's basically
Time Cop.
it's Rick and Morty. If Rick was going through each universe, killing himself to gain his power.
Right, but it has a Time Cop level of like, because there's multiverse cops.
There are, and Jason Statham saying the words "I'm a multiverse agent" is the icing on a cake that I never knew I wanted.
One of the best scenes in this movie has to be Jason Statham explaining the multiverse to Jet Li. It was so funny. It was probably the funniest fucking thing I've seen in my life. Because
he does, like, he takes a newspaper and he folds it into an S and he's like, "This is what a universe looks like." And I'm like, what?
The moment he did that, I was like,
what?
oh yes. Someone had to explain it, and they chose Jason Statham to explain it like a surly little bastard.
But like what he's like the visual aid he's using doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think
it's like, why is that a multiverse? It's an S.
Oh my god.
You just grabbed the newspaper and just did some shit.
And then Jet Li just kind of throws out the newspaper. Like he never explains why the newspaper relates to the multiverse.
No, not really.
It felt like he was told to be like, give some sort of like, we need some sort of like visual example. And then he just sort of did that and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, 100%. They were just like, Statham is, and then your character will explain the multiverse using this newspaper as a visual aid. Say, all right, I've got it. And then he just does like that.
I want a whole series, a television series of Jason Statham explaining science.
Right, just trying to explain physics with random visual aids he's given 2 minutes before filming starts.
Yes, and not really believing what he's saying the whole time.
No,
too.
That was the best part about that scene is he doesn't believe a word he's saying,
no,
and then it keeps
really
cutting
doesn't.
back to Jet Li, who is just like the dead-eyed, not reacting. Jet Li.
Jet Li was overextended in this movie.
He really was. Like, he was still pretty new to American cinema. He clearly doesn't speak much English. So it's like he's getting like every fifth word that Statham is saying about the multiverse, and it's just his dead ass face. No reaction to everything he's telling him.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, what a fucking film.
What a movie it has so much. There's so much. There's fucking Hank from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Hank from Breaking Bad gets his Matrix ass beating.
Yeah.
From Jet Li in the beginning. Like he picks Hank up and uses him as a shield.
Which, he loves this motorcycle thing. That was probably the most legit cool scene is the motorcycles.
Yeah.
The effects
that's the part I remembered.
Yeah. The effects leave a lot to be desired, but they're
very bad.
That was pretty good.
They're very 2000.
Yes.
They're very Pierce Brosnan windsurfing on a tsunami.
Yes. Why does going through the multiverse hurt so much?
I don't know. It rips you apart at an atomic level.
And they go like, ah!
I wish
their heads are like shaking.
And they get pulled apart from the inside out into particles.
They hate it.
I wish that's what using the transporter in Star Trek looked like.
Oh yeah.
Like every time they use the transporter room, they're just like, ah!
They're screaming like, I'm dying! I'm dying!
Yeah. Just
Don't
shrieking.
do it! Nobody else do this! Ah!
as every tissue in their body gets ripped apart at a subatomic level.
Oh my god! It's so. Are they using? Because this is the biggest Time Cop thing to me is that it's ridiculous rules to the multiverse.
I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah,
like none of the rules made sense to me.
But it also seems like Time Cop, it seems like the only reason the multiverse exists is for people to police the multiverse to make sure no one uses the multiverse.
Right, like they're not using it for any other reason.
They're just using it to punish people, to put them in prison universe.
The Hades universe.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on in there. But it's like, it seems like a lot more trouble than it's worth. They could just destroy, like, the equipment, right?
Yeah, let me tell you, man, trying to think about this from, like, its inception is an impossible task. Like,
yeah.
Who discovered the multiverse, and then why did it become... You're right, it really... The only reason the multiverse exists is to police the multiverse. They don't do anything else with it except chase criminals through it.
Yeah, that's it. They don't show us the potential why this is even worth having.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned that, like, our Earth doesn't have a multiverse license or something. So it was like, okay, so they give out licenses to different multiverses, and then we get to hang out. It just seems like, why? Yeah,
why any of this? What is this?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh shit! Keep going. I had a thought. Now it's gone.
Oh, my next thought is.
Oh right. Okay, I remember what it was. Basically the multiverse feels like you got like willed a big shitty dog and you have to keep it.
Yeah. And you just have to deal with it.
A big nuisance that you just have to deal with.
Right.
It's like there's no upside to the multiverse. It's just a big shitty wormhole.
No. Where we get to, and of all fucking times for this to come out after 9/11, like one of the first scenes they show the TV and Gore has won, or not Gore. Yeah, Gore. And it was just like, God, what a bummer thought.
Well, then the funny thing is when they show our universe,
Bush is working on universal health care.
Right. They show President Bush addressing Congress on his plan for universal health care. I'm like, that's not a thing he ever said.
Yeah, it's just like his fucking what? What a bummer. I want to live in the universe where Jet Li's got surfer hair. That's the one I want to... Remember when they flipped through all his identities? Yeah, all the ones that have been... And it's just... Every identity is just Jet Li with a different haircut.
Right. They clearly went backstage at an improv theater and just put all the different wigs on Jet Li.
Yeah, in front of a green screen. So like, smile in this one. No, frown in this one. I don't know, make a funny face in this one. And then they just added some bullshit background and a name.
Yep.
No, it's so good. Oh, this movie is... do you remember the part where he kicks a lamppost over?
Yes.
And then, what's his face? The other partner.
Delroy
Lindo. Yeah, we're just... Oh, my God. Okay, so Delroy... He's Statham's other partner, and he dies.
He's the superior, yeah. Oh, yeah, he super dies. He super dies after getting into an improbable martial arts fight with Jet Li.
Yes.
I'm like, is Delroy Lindo throwing kicks?
Apparently. That version of him.
Throwing spin kicks?
But then later, after he dies, they're at a gas station. I don't believe they get gas. I think they like start to get gas. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because
this is one of my favorite scenes. But
it's an amazing scene. Jet Li fucking kicks a lamppost over to like show his strength, and then alternate Delroy comes out and he's working at the gas station, and he's like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" And Statham walks up to him and he's just like, I didn't get a chance to tell you how much I respect you," or something like that. He like says his goodbyes. And then they just move on as if that wasn't the most insane thing that's ever happened.
Right. So this is why this is my favorite scene.
By staggering coincidence, his alternate version is just working at this gas station that they go to.
It's like, man, he had wildly different career trajectory in this universe.
Yeah. And they never say like, wow, that was weird.
Yeah, we just happened to pull into the gas station where your boss's multiverse double works.
Yeah.
Here's why this is the greatest scene in cinema history.
Okay.
is because leading into the scene that leads into the gas station scene is Jet Li sprinting down the street, running away from the cops who are after his wife has just been murdered in front of him.
Yeah, he gets over that though.
Statham pulls up in his car and says, "Hey, get in," and they get in and drive off. And then he just looks down at his gas tank and sees that it's on E. So they pull into a gas station, presumably like 3 blocks away from his dead wife.
Right.
And then they get out. Jet Li kicks over a lamppost. Delroy Lindo comes outside and says, "Hey, don't kick over my lamppost." Like it's an outrageous but otherwise normal thing to happen.
Yeah, like he kicked over a newspaper stand or something.
Like he kicked over his garbage can or something. And then Statham looks at him and gives him his speech, and then they get in the car and leave without pumping any gas.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
Greatest 3 minutes in cinema history.
It's there's so many layers to that. It's top-notch nonsense.
Why is that scene in the movie?
I don't know.
Nothing happens in it.
Remember how his wife is a vet, and then the evil version of his wife has a rat bomb that comes out of her shoe? Remember the rat bomb?
The rat bomb with like the rat that had the biggest ball sack in the world. Did you notice that?
Oh, male rats. That's man. They got them big sacks. There's no getting around those big sacks unless they should have gotten a lady rat, but
stuck a grenade up that rat's asshole and let it loose in the execution chamber.
What was that?
And then it blew up right as the down with the sickness was like, wah, right as it explodes. Holy shit, this movie.
So when they put someone into the prison multiverse, they treat it like an execution. There's
people there witnessing it.
Yeah, and she comes in. This is Crane. It's Olivia Crane. What's her actual name?
Carla Gugino.
Okay. And she comes in and she's like in this like red dress, and they really want us to fuck her. The camera does, at least. Mm-hmm. And then she sits down, and out of her shoe comes a rat, and no one notices this rat. And it just like walks all across the whole
has
thing.
A giant thing sticking out of its butt.
It has a Jimmy Neutron like antenna coming out of it.
Oh man, I wish Jimmy Neutron put grenades up rats' assholes.
It was so it was a real rat that she put a bomb in, like the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe it was a robot rat.
No, there's nothing to suggest that it's a robot.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. It's just it came out of her shoe.
It sure did.
Like something in Austin Powers. Like her shoe opened up and was zoop, and a rat came out.
It was very Harry Potter.
Yeah, it crawled
a secret
on the
compartment
ground
where her mouse friend lives.
Yeah, she presses a button. There's an antenna sticking out of the rat. The antenna's like boop boop boop, and the rat explodes. I didn't know what to think. I was just like, "Is that a robot? Is she a robot? What the fuck was that? What did I just see?" Who does that? Who does any of that? Who puts a rat in their shoe and walks around as if the rat's not going to complain and claw at their heel?
What's inside the shoe?
Sure. But I feel like that rat's going to make a lot of noise in that shoe.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be screaming and pissing everywhere.
And then, how do you put the bomb up the rat's ass? That's why I was like, okay, so either it's like a advanced robot rat, or she shoved a bomb in the rat's ass. I
think the second thing.
Yeah, I guess because she's a vet in the other realities.
Yeah, which means that she has the skills and the knowledge required to shove a grenade up a rat's ass.
Right. What a movie.
And listen, when you're the bride of evil Jet Li, whose name is Lawless, I think. Oh no, wait, the guy he kills is named Lawless.
Okay.
In the beginning, his name. I can't remember his name. They're all derivations of law.
Right. It's weird how they all speak the same language because
right in the multiverse, everybody landed on English.
Yeah, especially since did you see in certain multiverses when they're looking at numbers, the numbers are slightly weird.
Yeah,
the 7 has an extra tail, and it's like, what? How did we get to that multiverse? What
is this?
Yeah, but not an entirely different language. I feel like
the same slang across the multiverses. Math is the universal language.
I feel like the set designers, they're like, okay, this is a multiverse world. How do we do that? And they're like, I don't know, paint like the fire hydrants a weird color. Like,
Yeah, can we talk about the Sousaverse he goes to at the end?
oh my God.
What the hell? Jason Statham sends him to another universe where his double was killed already, but it was before he meets Carla Gugino in this universe.
Yeah,
so he
this
gets to meet her all over
sequence-
again. But it's like fucking Seussical. Everybody looks like a Who from Whoville.
Yeah.
It's the strangest goddamn thing.
And I want to, the leading up to it, because there's
Like
so much to
I would
cover.
land in that universe and be like, no, I'd kind of rather my wife be dead than live here.
Yeah, but he's totally over it. He goes
Yeah.
into a vet because he sees a dog get hit by a car, which is like, cool movie. Let's watch a dog get hit by a car. And then he walks it in, and then the vet just happens to be his dead wife, and Jet Li's just like, oh, this works perfectly. I'll just have sex with this woman even though she's not my wife. She looks like her. So I am over my dead wife. Mm-hmm. Like, he completely accepts it.
Yeah.
He's just like,
it's
this is fine
basically
too.
her.
Is it though?
No, not at all. I was just
All right.
saying what the movie wants us to
Yeah,
believe.
the movie was just like, that's good enough. Even though we've learned that clearly other versions of these characters are wildly different people. Jet
Right,
Li
Delroy
just
Lindo was working at a
settles-
gas station.
Yeah. It's just like, you don't know who this woman is. She is a stranger.
Yeah.
That is holy shit.
Yeah.
When they lead up to that universe, this is at the end. They have a fight in a factory that I think has like Joker goo.
Bro, I was about to say, they fight in freaking Axis Chemicals.
Yeah. It's just like, I was trying so hard to figure out what's being made in that factory.
Who knows?
And they fight, and then they get multiversed, and they're like, ah! And like Jet Li and Evil Jet Li both look the same at this point, and so
We
go.
gotta talk about that.
Oh yeah.
But can finish this thought.
Well, they get to the time cop place, and all the time cops walk in, and there's two Jet Lis, and they look at them both, and one of them just goes, "It's him," and they just listen to him.
Yep.
They just go, "Oh, okay." And they grab the guy, and they immediately start putting him in the prison multiverse. They have not checked anything. They have not asked everybody what happened. They just see it's. I've never seen a more gullible group of cops. And then Jason Statham has to be like, "No, that's the wrong one." And then they're like, "Okay, well, we just have to send him back to his place, his world." And Statham's like, "No, don't bring him there. It sucks." And they're like, "That's an order." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll use the computer to do it." And they're like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
Like, they're so
everything seems in
gullible
order
and
here.
trusting.
Right. Like, they're not even watching what he's typing.
Yeah, and of course he's not. Like, he just protested them doing that.
Yeah.
They're so gullible. Oh my. Oh.
So the thing I really wanted to talk about
Okay.
was when Evil Jet Li first shows up to kill good Jet Li, whose name is Gabe.
Gabe, right.
He shows up when he's in the hospital getting an MRI, and he starts killing people in the hospital.
I think
and
I
then
know what you're going to bring up.
Jet Li gets out and
Yes.
puts on the exact same uniform that the evil guy's wearing
Right.
that he brought with him from the future, or like from the multi. Like, we see him go into the hospital. He's wearing his sheriff's uniform, like a
Right.
white shirt, the black pants, his sheriff's jacket. He takes that stuff off in the dressing room to get into the CAT scan. And then when he gets out, he goes back in the dressing room and puts on the same coverall jumpsuit that Evil Jet Li is wearing.
Why did he do that?
Why did you do that? And
Why?
he never changes his clothes.
Yeah. Why?
It's like, that's why they think you're him. You're wearing the same guy. This is a parent trap? What are you doing?
The movie comes to an abrupt halt so we can watch the main character get an MRI.
Yeah.
And in fairness, in action films, I feel like more characters need to do that.
Right.
Just for safety's sake. But they stop and they're like, whoa, man, we got to get you into the hospital and get you a CAT scan. And it's obvious that the reason why is so they can strip him of all his clothes and identity.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why he gets back in that.
There really isn't. Like, because he's been shot during a they were escorting a prisoner, and then evil Jet Li showed up and he got shot, and for some reason that requires him to get a CAT scan.
Yes. Again, the movie couldn't think of a way to get Jet Li out of his clothing, it felt like. So they added in a CAT scan scene that went on for way too long. They show him going into the machine,
right?
And they're just like, okay, just lie back and relax.
A substantial
and I'm like,
portion of this movie's runtime is them in the hospital.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, do I need to see this? I don't need to see the procedure of the CAT scan.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that scene is when Jet Li gets out and the cops think it's him. They're like talking him down in the hallway, and he's like, I don't understand what happened. And a doctor comes in from behind and attacks Jet Li with a syringe.
Yeah.
Who the fuck was that?
Like fucking Agent 47 comes up behind him and tries to stick him in the neck with a syringe.
What doctor is at work and sees a hostage situation and is just like, I got this?
A cool doctor.
He just fills a syringe with God knows what. And it's just like, I'll take care of this. This ghoul just jumps out of him from behind with a needle.
Yeah.
And
it's a doctor that's been stealing a lot of prescription pads from the hospital. During the scene when Evil Jet Li first shows up in this universe, he runs away, like Evil Jet Li runs away, and you can hear one of the cops say off screen, he's pulling an OJ.
Oh, yeah, because that's in 2001, you know?
What?
That's what they're saying. That's what the cops are always saying.
Pulling an OJ?
Yeah. That's, you know how cops say that? Yeah. 2001 all the time.
Like in 2001?
Jesus
Say he's
Christ.
pulling an OJ?
Is that when he jumps over that really hilarious, wall with the shitty,
Right, the gloriously fake razor wire?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was clearly tinfoil.
Yeah, when Jason Statham peeks his little head over it to shoot at Jet Li, it was delightful.
It was pretty tremendous, yeah.
Yeah. They couldn't build a wall, huh? They couldn't find a wall.
Mm-mm.
Put better razor wire over it.
Nope.
It was that was real bad. This fucking movie.
I'm trying to think of what else. The end when he goes to the prison, Evil Jet Li goes to the prison planet
to the underworld or whatever from Mortal Kombat.
It's just a pyramid. They pull out and you see that it's got prison walls and searchlights and helicopters, but they built a fucking pyramid in the middle of the prison yard just for dudes to fight on.
Yeah. What do you suppose that world came from? Is it a world that it's just we evolved in that world where prison rules, baby? The whole world is prison rules. Mm-hmm. Is it a world that got so shitty that everybody went extinct and we multiversed into the world and we're like, oh, this will be like our junk drawer. We'll just keep whatever in this. And it just turned into a prison planet?
No, I think we nuked it. We got to put these time crime criminals somewhere. Let's just blow this multiverse up. This one sucks.
Yeah, this is a shitty multiverse.
Yeah.
They didn't invent cereal in this multiverse. It's real weird here.
Yeah. Everyone just eats uncooked rice for breakfast.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Let's
just
bomb
crunchy
them.
Rice.
That's as good as guess as any.
Don Johnson is president.
But that but when they zoom out, there's flying Terminator machines and skyscrapers in the background, which implies that people are living there.
Right, somebody works there.
Yeah, and so is it just Shitty Planet? Is it just Judge Dredd Planet? I can't figure it out. Because couldn't the prisoners just pull in Australia?
I think it kind of is. I don't know. I do like to think that there's probably a Geico office among those skyscrapers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We still got to conduct business in the Stygian realm,
right.
So I guess we got to have a field office out here.
It's probably cheap office space in general.
There's a Costco.
Oh, yeah. You got to have a Costco.
Mm-hmm. Even in the bowels of space, you got to be able to buy things in bulk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's probably down with the sickness playing on loop everywhere.
Yeah. Listen, the great old ones need 6 jars of mayonnaise at a time. So,
what a fucking movie.
Yeah,
This is
Carla Gugino's name is TK, which I thought was odd.
TK.
Yeah,
That is odd.
like
That's
what
very
a
odd.
what a strange. Like I mean,
Which version?
the good Jet Li, Gabe's
good one.
wife. Gabe's
Who
wife,
gets
yeah.
murdered and
Who
the
gets
movie
shot.
completely forgets. She gets murdered, and Jet Li mourns by punching the inside of Jason Statham's car for like 10 seconds, and Jason Statham's like, "Hey now, hey,
Yeah,
stop it!"
Statham's like,
and
cut
then
it out. And then he looks down and sees he's out of gas and then proceeds into the greatest moment in movie history.
yes, and that's the last time Jet Li ever thinks about his dead wife.
Sort of. Like, there's a couple of times where he says, oh, you can just kill me too. It doesn't matter. Because, like, Statham's hinting,
right.
like, well, if he dies, then we're going to have to kill you because you'll either be too powerful or we don't know what happens when every
Right.
other person in the multiverse is dead except for one. It may unmake reality.
Yeah, I think what it is that they wrote it assuming he could perform it better. So like the lines are probably there, which is like, I don't care about anything anymore. But like
Right.
I kept forgetting his wife was dead. So I was like, oh, I see. He's just bummed about this being in this movie too, and just wants it to be over with.
Yeah.
Like again, they asked a lot of him. They asked too much of him.
They did. This would have been better. I mean, this was like peak Jet Li.
Yes.
This is right after, it's a few years after Lethal Weapon 4, which was his big American break, and then they had put Black Mask in theaters. Kiss of the Dragon, I think, also came out around this time,
Okay.
which is a way better movie.
Yeah, here's the problem with having Jet Li in this movie is the reason to have Jet Li in your movie is to watch him do awesome martial arts.
Yes.
This movie doesn't have that. It has scenes where he does fights, but it's so bogged down with CGI Matrix shit that you can't appreciate it. He's fighting with CGI motorcycles.
And
just
doing
swinging them
impossible
Yeah,
kicks and shit. Like a lot of his American movies, because of when they came out,
Right.
sort of fell victim to like heavy CG wire stuff, like Romeo
Yeah.
Must Die.
And
Which-
this
I guess it was Crouching Tiger. It came out in 2000, and that's all wire work.
right, but at least that like felt like they were focusing like the wire work is one thing.
Right, and it was appropriate to Crouching Tiger because that was supposed to kind of be like a fairy tale.
Yeah, this like there's a surprising amount of gunfights.
Yeah.
And then the gunfights, they're clearly doing Matrix stuff. They shoot at him, and the bullet slows down, and Jet Li hits the bullet out of the way with his gun
That's
at one
not how
part.
that
And I
works.
was
The gun's
like,
not bulletproof.
It's like, what kind of fucking? It's not. That's not how anything works. Is that how it works in this dimension? Because I thought this dimension was supposed to be our
I
dimension.
thought it was supposed to be our dimension. What the hell's happening?
Because the idea is that, yeah, as he kills others, it's Highlander rules. He even says
Essentially.
there can be only one.
He does, yeah. Or there will be only one.
There
is what he
will be
says.
only one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's getting more powerful, but like in like weird ways that aren't specific. I guess just stronger and faster.
Yeah, he's stronger and faster, and they say he can think faster. Like he's getting smarter
right.
as well. This movie should have been
Should have been like Schwarzenegger.
Well-
it should have been
well,
it should have been Statham.
It either should have been in Chinese, so
Right.
that Jet Li could actually act.
Right, yes.
Because they're asking him to like act with phonetic lines, and it's like that's
Yeah.
impossible. Or you should have cast like somebody like Wesley Snipes or Jason Statham or something.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't need if they weren't going to show off Jet Li's fighting. Like there's really only one fight scene, and that's when he fights himself at the end. And even that one, they have to cut around the fact that it's clearly two different people.
Yeah.
So they really like. I would argue maybe this needed to be the other option was this needs to be made now, where you can have like a mocap fight scene and like or like just replace the face on one. And like you could still watch the martial arts and it's really clear and good, and all you do is just put some his face on the other guy.
Right, but instead, like every fight he gets into in this movie is a superhero fight. Like he doesn't do anything that's actually like real, like the cool martial arts that he can do.
Which is funny because I thought going into this, the superhero part would just be he can fight like Jet Li, like.
It's like, nope, he can already do that.
Yeah. Didn't like Jackie Chan with the tuxedo? Isn't that the idea that like...
Yes, yeah, the tuxedo makes you be able to fight.
It makes you fight like Jackie Chan, which he also happens to be. Like, why not just do that?
Yeah,
where
so
it's
great
like,
casting.
Yeah, it's very good casting.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So we got this movie about a tuxedo that makes you fight like Jackie Chan. Who should we cast?
It's like, Jet Li, you're already a superhero. We don't need to CGI you. Yeah. And that's a weird, like, I liked some of the ideas. Like, again, the motorcycle shit, I like the idea of that. That should have been in, like, a Terminator film.
Well, they did almost the exact thing in Hulk 2 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Where he smashes the cars and then makes gloves out of the cars.
Perfect movie, Hulk. Ang Lee's Hulk.
Somebody posted a GIF on Twitter the other day of the scene where Josh Lucas bounces a grenade off of Hulk and kills himself by accident.
So good.
And man, that's a wild scene.
What a great movie. I really enjoy that movie. I've said it before.
Odd, but yeah.
Ang Lee was like, it's a comic book movie? Okay, let's just make it look literally like a comic book.
Right,
and
he
it's
went for
damn
it.
Right.
That's not the problem. My issue with Hulk is that it's kind of dull.
Yeah, it's a little dull.
But anyway.
But boy, fuck. I just want to talk about Hulk.
It's a big swing.
It's a big swing. It's a swing. It's a Hulk swinging a tank around and throwing it into the desert kind of swing. Shit, I forgot. Okay, the CGI. Oh yeah, and I like the idea of when they're fighting in the miscellaneous factory, when all the sparks start coming down, and then they want to show how fast they're going, so the sparks just slow down. Like there were some good visual ideas in this.
It's just the effects weren't quite there.
Yeah, and it's kind of a good idea for, like, it just needed to be a little grittier. It needed to be like more like Looper or some bullshit where it's still ridiculous. Like Looper is so silly when you break down the logic.
Yeah,
but when you're watching it, you don't realize it because everything's like dusty and cool looking, and then you walk out and you're like, hey, wait a second.
This movie has the benefit of not having to deal with time travel paradox because it's not time travel. They're going to different universes.
Oh yeah, I think the biggest plot holes, if we take away the scene by scene weirdness, the biggest plot holes are just like why is this a thing? Why did you guys do this?
And like they need to wait. It's unclear how the traveling works. Like they need to wait for a wormhole to show up.
Right.
But
they
like
have little
Statham can override Jet Li's universe jumping watch.
Right.
With his little compact, I laughed my ass off the first time he pulled that out.
Oh, that thing that goes...
I was like, is he going to fix his makeup?
It looks like, again, it's Spy Kids CGI.
It really is, yeah.
It's like little thing gets slightly bigger, then gets slightly bigger, then slightly bigger. And it's like a funny thing we did at this time with CGI, which is that we didn't think gadgets needed to have logical physical space. Mm-hmm. They could just go beep 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 and like unfold into oblivion. It wasn't until like Transformers they were like, well, maybe we should design these in a way that they actually make sense. Until then, we just didn't give a fuck. We were just like, yeah, and the thing turns into the other thing.
Yeah, and then that happens,
Yeah, doesn't matter that none of it fits. Oh, fucking! This movie is it's an artifact. Like,
this is for sure a time capsule film.
Yeah, and it's like I gotta say, it's a real good one for that. I would argue, for at 80 something minutes, it was a smidge too long for me.
It was. I did check and see the time code. I was like, when they started fighting in the end, I was like, I still gotta go 20 minutes.
Right. Because again, the fighting wasn't done. They shot themselves in the foot with the fighting. It wasn't exciting because it was all augmented with CGI that was very outdated. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I don't care about this fighting. I'm watching Jet Li fight, and somehow it's not working because they have to keep cutting to hide that he's fighting another person, not himself, and they keep adding CGI and like weird steam and
it's
goo everywhere.
lame. It's a lame superhero fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. They were not ready for CG. Even The Matrix, which was before this, they knew like we could have these cool CGI moments, but then when we actually would have the fight scenes, let's just get people fighting, and we just film that.
Put them on wires, but yeah.
Put them on wire, yeah. And this didn't know to do that.
No.
And that was kind of a shame. But again, Time Cop vibes. Like, I'm surprised this isn't talked about more, because there are some genuinely batshit things in this movie.
The entire movie.
Comparable, yeah. But, like, comparable to, like, some of the most iconic batshit movies. Like, this has some stuff. It's weird that people aren't talking enough about this movie.
Yeah,
and how incredibly zany it is.
This time period of movies, I think, is a blind spot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like 2000 to like 2002-ish.
Yeah. Which again, I worked in a movie theater from like 2001 to like 2004 or 5-ish. Mm-hmm. I don't understand time, but like it was just not a fun time generally. Like
there's a lot of crap that came out in the early 2000s.
I got to see like the Spider-Mans and Lord of the Rings for free. Other than that, like there were days I remember I let a friend into the movie theater like, you can go in for free. And I watched him walk out of 3 movies before coming back to me and going, I think I'm just going to go walk around the mall. Just like wasn't worth free.
Right. It's a real like fucking domestic disturbance and master of disguise. That's the shit that's playing.
It's real bleak. This is a real bleak time for movies.
Swordfish.
Oh, Swordfish. I want to watch Swordfish.
You can do that. That's a thing
I might watch that. Remember when the evil Jet Li's hiding in the attic?
Yes.
And he's just like, I'm going to get your gun. Like, you got to check for Jet Li's in your attic.
He's like up there like Pennywise.
Yeah.
Like peeking out, I'm going to get your gun and kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It was amazing.
It's like filmed in a real strange way.
It was.
It really did look like Pennywise peeking up out of the sewer.
It's Pennywising her. And then how does he kill her? Does he hold her up?
He shoots her in the back.
Right, but is he holding her up? Is he holding her? I forget.
Yeah, he's holding her. He's standing behind her and holding her in front of the window set so that good Jet Li can see him shoot her.
All right, but he's not lifting her.
I don't think so.
Okay. That was a real blur. Because I assumed, like, no, she's not going to die. And then it occurred to me what kind of movie I'm watching with multiverses. And it all clicked into place of, like, oh, no.
Yeah, she
they're
sure
going to replace her. That's real bleak. Like,
replace her with a character that's not named TK.
Yeah.
I understand people can be named initials in real life, but you're writing a screenplay, man. Like that's like the most club-footed name to try and say over and over again.
It's very weird.
It's just a real awkward name to give a character in your movie. Name her fucking Jane or something. Why is it TK?
Why? I don't know. Man, maybe the writer just knew someone named TK.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And TK was like no one gets his name TK in movies. And it's like, yeah, TK for a very good reason, but
yeah, because it's awkward to say.
Yeah.
It's exactly like the scene where Darren Morgan shows up. It's like, why is this in here?
That scene, the fact that it's Darren Morgan makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, that scene was harrowing. Like it was, there's moments, it's not a comedy, right? This movie isn't a comedy. It's an action movie. That scene is straight up thinks it's hilarious.
Right. Yeah. It's just the most dated.
Yeah.
Fucking jokes.
Yeah. It's also somehow more outlandish in the behavior of the people than like,
those two guys are not human beings.
No,
I don't know
they're
what's
not
happening in that scene.
They're fucking cartoon characters. Although this isn't a hospital where random doctors will attack you with syringes if you get out of line.
Here's my moment.
I couldn't fucking believe that doctor.
Yeah.
What a goddamn movie. Oh shit. Oh yeah, the final thing with the wife is it just reminded me of Face Off, where the kid dies at the beginning, and then at the end he's like, here's a new kid. It looks just like the old kid. Let's keep it.
I stole us a child.
Yeah. I killed my enemy and I took his child. Can we raise him? I am now just springing you on this and asking you in front of the child.
Yeah. Can we raise this child whose mother and father I killed?
Yeah. It seemed the same way where they're like, Jet Li, your wife is dead. your life is ruined, but here's another dimension. This fixes everything, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I actually kind of want to die more now because I knew other people in that dimension. Like he probably had other friends, right? And
You
like
would assume
parents.
so.
Like, did he have relatives? They just threw him in that other fucking dimension where like world peace was solved or whatever. It's supposed to be like the best dimension. Is that the idea? Statham was just like, this is the best.
I think he just sent him to a place where his alternate had already been killed,
right?
But hadn't met Carla Gugino yet,
right? But he also thought like, yeah. I figured he was like, this is a cool one. I got blown here once. I'm gonna send him to the cool dimension. Fucking Jason Statham is in this with hair.
Yeah, that's another reason you can tell it's a real artifact is that Statham's still clinging to that hair.
Yeah.
Oh man, Statham.
This is a hell of a film. This is, boy. Everybody should watch it.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, probably. If you want to know what life was like a month after 9/11,
this really sums it up.
Motherfucker on the TV. There
Yeah,
has
you
never
really feel
been
it.
a more like directly after 9/11 movie ever made than this.
Oh yeah. This is very after 9/11. It's the we don't want to think about anything important. Here's some weird bullshit. I think about this movie. I think of The Sixth Day with Schwarzenegger.
That was 99, but yeah.
Was that 99?
Oh no, it might have been 2000.
Okay, Jesus. The cloning one.
Yeah, that's 2000.
Yeah. Ben Affleck's Paycheck. I don't know exactly when these all are, but they
Paycheck
all
was 03, I believe.
Yeah,
but
yeah, they're all in that range where it's like, boy, we really weren't doing sci-fi great during this time.
I've seen the first half of Paycheck twice, and
That's
that's
all you
it.
need.
I've never seen the entire film.
That's all you need. That's an Ang Lee one, I believe. Isn't it?
No, that is.
No, it's not. It's
John Woo.
John Woo, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't show. There might be some
that's
doves.
A boring ass movie.
Yeah, there might be a dove or two. That's about it. Ben Affleck, time travel. Aaron Eckhart. God damn, what a wasteland.
Yeah, it's like early 2000 and then like 2006 are two of the biggest black holes in movies
It's real
of
bad.
the past few decades. It's just nothing.
Yeah,
Fucking nothing.
I complain about superhero films, but it's like, man, at least those have charisma. These were like Bloombergian level films that were just like awkward and like you just didn't want to be around them, and they cost too much money. Man,
I think this guy wants my bones for something.
Paycheck definitely wanted our bones.
It continues to want your. Don't put Paycheck on.
The Island. I love The Island.
You will wake up boneless.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a time where when Michael Bay started making Transformers, we were like, thank God. Oh, what a relief to get a Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Well, I mean, I think that's why Pirates of the Caribbean became one of the biggest hits of the decade is because it was a wasteland.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, that first movie is good, but shit.
But boy, it gets real bad after
It
that.
ain't that good.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's really this, Spider-Man, Lord of the Rings?
and Lord of the Rings kind of... Lord of the Rings does count. I was
Yeah,
going to say
and I
barely
would say
counts,
there's
but no,
probably-
it was 01, 02, and 03.
Yeah, and there's like sprinkling of indie films at the time that I'm sure I loved. But like otherwise, in terms of
Like
big movies,
There's a Mystic River in there somewhere.
yeah.
Is that my daughter in there?
Is that my daughter in there?
Is that my daughter in there?
And then at the same time, there was like, what was that, like Disney Atlantis movie, and like, was Master and Commander in this time?
Yes.
It's all a blur. Mm-hmm. It's all a nightmare blur.
Oh, yeah.
The one. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we've talked enough about the one.
That's all. Yeah.
Theon.
I think people know where we stand. This is the time cop of the early 2000s. That's how I'll label it.
Sure.
Is that it's funny in a way that it's not trying to be. It has some genuinely confusing scenes in terms of why did they choose to do that. It has a bizarre cast.
Mm-hmm.
It deals with very ambiguous sci-fi elements. It's got everything. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. And I want to thank Lef again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for knowing, for knowing what we like.
Yeah, for knowing exactly what movie features Jet Li fighting a bunch of dudes on top of a pyramid while Papa Roach plays.
Yeah. God, perfect.
It's this one.
Cinema. That's cinema, you guys.
Like, the Papa Roach song was already dated.
Yeah.
When this movie came out.
Wait, I wonder when this movie was filmed. Maybe that plays into it.
Maybe,
but no, I mean, they could still edit it. They knew when it was coming out. They could put a different song there. Oh, Papa Roach. So, yeah. I don't know. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
Left did this through our Patreon, and if you're interested, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have exclusive podcasts there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac.
Sure do.
Take a look-see.
We also have a store, tpublic.com/stores/gamefullyunemployed. You can get t-shirts, mugs, stickers, all that jazz. And if you have a second, go ahead and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this. It really helps us out.
Yeah. And let's push for a Jason Statham science show.
Yeah, I want Mr. Wizard with Jason Statham.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Statham. Come on, man.
Like some kid coming to his house. I'm just picturing it exactly like the old Mr. Wizard stuff. Like,
right.
Mr. Statham, how does balloons work? All right, come out the back. I'll show you.
Just kicks
and then
the kid in the chest.
Fucks it up somehow. Like it's like the balloon doesn't work or something. Yeah. Like I like to believe no knowledge of science, but 100% confidence.
Yes. Oh yeah. Not like necessarily bad at science, but just like I feel like it's Jason Statham. It'd
be like me, only with the confidence of Jason Statham trying to explain science to children. You
give before every take, you give him a bump of cocaine and a thing of piece of science to put in his hand and explain. They say, "Okay, do it, Statham, right now," and just see what comes out of his mouth. We can make it happen.
A show. We could do this. Yeah. If that'll be our next Patreon goal.
Yeah, to pay Jason Statham.
Yeah, to make
do a science.
Mr. Statham do a science show.
It's perfect.